Hi, I'm Andre Catrini. I am from Westchester, New York, and I'm a junior musical theater major here at CCM. Whisper Love is a show that I composed and wrote the book for, even though it's a song cycle. It is a group of love songs written for 8 men, all from different perspectives and through the use of various musical styles. It came about when I was a freshman. I gave myself this really ambitious task of composing songs, but only giving myself 30 minutes to write a song from start to finish, because instead of sitting away at a piano for hours on end trying to come up with a song, I forced myself to just do it. And I wrote a lot of really horrible songs by doing that, but one of those songs survived, and it was the song Halfway Home, which is sung by Brandon Yanez in the show. And I thought I could use both men and women, but it would be interesting to have it sung all by men. And because I was just really starting at the time with composing, I just wrote for my own voice. And so I took 8 men, and I thought it would be great to hear them all singing in harmony together. And so from Halfway Home, I branched out and I said, what are the other musical styles that we could go into? And so I decided to try to write a jazz standard. I wrote pop music, regular musical theater. I tried to write a funky song, and just all different genres. Richard Hess is the chair of the drama department here at CCM, and he served as the director of our show. And I had a meeting with him in early September when we decided to put on this show together, and I said, I would really like to write this show, and I have an idea for a title called Whisper Love. And he thought that was a really cool, sort of evocative title. And I said, I just wanted it to be a bunch of solo male songs all about love. And he said, that's great, but what's going to tie them all together? And I said, well, what if I wrote a song called Whisper Love that sort of summed up all what was to come in the evening? And so I wrote this song with the idea of every other song that was written in mind. And in between songs, when the show was on its feet, little segments of the opening number were reprised in order to further what they were about to see in the coming song. I Can't Smell Purple was sung by Patrick Shelton, and the song was originally written for the first musical I ever tried to write. It was a book musical called Little Sun, spelled S-U-N, and the character that sang it was the boyfriend of the main role, devoting their love. And the musical was really terrible, but I really loved that one song, and so I changed the lyrics around a little bit, and I made it fit into more of a general musical theme. And the song, I came up with the idea of I Can't Smell Purple actually because I was at a poetry seminar my senior year of high school, and we all had to write something on a piece of paper saying something that we can't do that we really wish we could. And some person wrote I can't smell fuchsia as a joke, and everybody started laughing because they were just fooling around. But I thought, what about that? You can't really smell a color. And so what else can't you do, but what could you do in the end? And so I thought about, maybe you can't climb Mount Everest, you can't touch a rainbow, but you can love someone. And so that's where that song came about. The song Show Me How, sung by Grady Long, was inspired by the composer Jacques Brel. He has a musical called Jacques Brel is Alive and Well and Living in Paris, which is a song cycle as well. And a lot of his songs are very poetic, and they don't really follow, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, another verse, whatever. They more are just one passage, one chorus, repeated over and over again with changing lyrics. And I thought that that would be a nice way to tell a story. And so I came up with the idea of the line, show me how to be your love, I can make your wishes fly. And I thought, why would you say that to somebody? And I thought of somebody who is in a lot of pain and trying to bring their spirits up. So telling them everything about them that is beautiful and everything that you treasure about them and the reasons that they shouldn't be sad. And so that's where that song came about. Sympathy, sung by Joey DiBenedetto, was one of the final songs that I wrote for the project. And it's the one that's closest to my heart because when coming up with this, I thought about, we have all these love songs about people falling in love or wanting to be back in love. And I thought about an affair and how there are a lot of songs from the perspective of the victim, the person who's been cheated upon, saying, why me, poor me, or asking for their lover to come back to them. And I thought, we never really hear songs from the other end of the spectrum and the person who committed the infidelity. And I thought, well, what if we had this person singing a song, but instead of him just, saying, oh, I'm sorry, justifying his actions. And so I wrote Sympathy, saying that if I'm the person singing the song, yes, I had an affair with you, but it was your fault. And so it's a very bittersweet song. And when writing it, I wanted the music to echo a standard pop love song so that you didn't really understand what was truly going on until a little ways into the song. And the listener, maybe they were a little bit repelled by the singer, but at the same time, they felt sympathy for them and they understood their plight based on what they're saying. I spent a lot of time writing Whisper Love for all these men, and I always knew that I wanted to do that, but at the same time, I didn't want to ignore the women, because trying to become a musical theater composer, you're going to need to write for both genders. And obviously, being a man, it's easier for me to write for a guy. And so I gave myself the challenge of writing a show for just women, and I used the 6 girls that are in my class, and I called the show The Six. And I interviewed them all at different times about questions about their life, and I wrote songs from their perspective about their own lives. And from that, I had a meeting with Aubrey Berg, who's the chair of the musical theater department, and he said he really enjoyed the idea, but he thought that it was too confined, because who really wants to see a show about 20-year-olds and their 20-year-old problems? And so he said, what about incorporating songs beyond just these 20-year-old girls, just about all women? And so in the studio, we recorded 2 songs about girls in our class, and then a 3rd song called Lullaby, sung by Mia Gentile, and she brought the idea up to me about what would it be like if there was a woman who wanted more than anything to have a child, but she was barren. And I said, okay, that's a really interesting idea for a song, but it's really depressing. And who really wants to hear a song about a woman just being upset that she's barren? And so we turned it around to being a woman who can't have children, but refuses to accept that, and promises herself that she will have a child, and she's just waiting for that day to come. And so Lullaby is a song sung to her unborn child. Composing, like anything in the arts, is just a really wonderful feeling for both the artist and the performers, and I really always appreciated having a performer sing my material. And to have it performed on stage, there's no feeling like it. But then to go into a studio and have a recording made of it is so out of this world to me, and it's just a really incredible feeling knowing that it will be documented and that we have something to showcase our work. And I feel really blessed that we were given this opportunity, and that from now on I have something sort of to treasure my memories of the show, and in the future I hope to be back.